Let us walk through this lead scraping system that you can use to scrape leads for your business for free. So let's get right in. This is what we currently have now. So what this will do is that it will go in, the first module is to create a spreadsheet. So it will go in and create a spreadsheet for all of your leads. So say you want marketing agencies in your, in your city, marketing agencies in your country, whatever you want. That would be the name of your spreadsheet. And you would just add your sheet name as well. You can also give it like coaches or whatever you want to call it. So in this case, I called it sheet one. So I save this. Right. The next module here is going to be the Google Maps module, which is going to go into Google Maps and pull out all of the business listed with that search query. Right. For example, my search query here is coaches in Australia, right? So what it's going to do is that you go into Google Maps and search for all coaches in Australia, all coaches that, their location is Australia, and it's going to pull that up for me, right? For you to be able to set the Google connection, the Google Maps connection up, you would have to go to your console cloud.google.com. So when you get there, you would create your projects like so. I have my project here. This is the one that is tagged to my Google map. So that is what you are going. You create a so you will create a project. If you come down, if you come here to this my first project, you can always create a new project here so that you can work with it from there. But whatever works for you is still fine. So what you want to do here is come to your, which is very important, your APIs and your enable API and services. So you would have to install all of these APIs. And how you can get it, you just have to come here. And this gives you a step by step on how you can, enable your Google Maps API. And right here is where you would have to, this under this enable APIs for Google Maps is where you're going to find the list of APIs that you have to enable. So if I click on this, I'm going to have like a long list of APIs. So right, what we want to create is web service APIs because we are using this on the web. So you would have to make sure that you install all of these. Just copy it, install all of these APIs here. And how you can do it is simply just come to this enable APIs and then to take you to the API library. So you just copy each of the APIs there. If I copy this and come here, I put this in here. Yes, so you see it's going to pull it up for me. So I want, this is the one I want. Yeah, mine is already enabled. You can see here API enabled, but if yours isn't, you're going to see enabled instead of this manage. So you just enable it and you do that same thing for all of these APIs here, all these web service APIs. And once you are done with enable your APIs, once you are done enabling all of your APIs, simply just come to these credentials here. And then you are going to see create credentials here. And then you create API key. That's what you need. You need this API key. So once you have that API key, you come back here and you do add here. And then you add in that API key here and it automatically connects this for you. One thing that I did forget to say though, one of the APIs here, I think is Places API. This Places API requires payment, so you have to put in your payment details on this to be able to use that Places API. So that is what you would have to do. So you would have to put in, once you try to install that Places API, to tell you that, oh, you need to have what's it called, a payment method added to your account. So you would go ahead and add your payment method, your card, whatever, into the Google Cloud. Then you'll be able to install or enable that API. So once you have that and you come here, your query search will obviously be what you're trying to search for: marketing agencies, coaches, plumbers, whatever you're searching for. That will be your query search here. And you can search by text word or by nearby search. I like to search by text word because that's how I'm able to type in these words here. So you can leave the rest as it is, set your limits, whatever you prefer to do, and that module is set up. So the next module that you're going to have is this HTTP request module. So this HTTP request module, what you would need is going to be this URL here. That's what you would need here. So just copy this URL and put in there. What this URL means is that it's going to return all of the places for you. So your method here will be a get because you're trying to get all the places. You're trying to get all the places that, like I said, this here is from the Maps API, right? So you're trying to get all of the places that has brought up or searched from your from this module here. That's what you're trying to bring together. So you want to put the parameters here as well, and the fields here and the parameters, everything that you need, just put it in here like the way you see these. and then that module will be set up. So once it brings, this one is going to search the fields, and this one is going to get the searched fields from here. So once you have gotten the search fields from here, you want to add it to a Google Sheet. So if so you will do add a row, and then you do your connections here, and then that sheet that was created, right? This one right here is what you would want to put in here so that you can update that sheet now. So now you're going to have the name of the, the company or whatever you're searching for, and the result, which in this case is going to be the website, right? That's what you're going to, that's what this HTTP module is going to return to you. It's going to give you, like, it's going to tag the names that the Google Maps had pulled up. Is going to tag that name to a website. So that is what you would put here. So you can save this, and then you would continue to run this until it is complete. Because if you want like 50, 50 names or 50 websites, you don't want it to just run one and get to the end before it comes to run the second one. So what you would rather do is set up this particular, module that, the number of rows here, right? Sorry, number of rows here, which every time it adds a row, it's going to say row one. It has only created row one. It creates the next row, it calls it row two. So normally, right, if you are asking that, it's your limit when you are setting this Google Maps is like 50. So you want it to, generate 50. Every time it generates, the first name and other things, like you can see here, the URL to the maps and all of that. Every time it generates this, it's going to call it, grouping it in a bundle. So it will call it, it will be calling it every time it generates a bundle. Every time it generates a bundle, it will label it one, label it two. As you can see here, it generated 19, 19 companies or 19 marketing agencies, and so the bundle here is 19. So what we want to do is make this run and make it add. We want the Google Sheet to add 19 rows as well. So what we are going to do is make sure that our row number here is exactly equal to the number of bundles here. So if the bundles are 19, then that means the last row number that you want to have is 19. So anything below that means that it's not done running. So we want it to continue running, right? So once we have that, that's a very important step that you have to do, so that way you have all of your names and the website already created for you before you proceed to the next one, which is going to be the search row. So this search row is going to bring up all of the names that it has created now, so that you can find, what's it called, their corresponding emails, right? The company email. Because right here, as you can see, when we are adding the rows here, what we only have is the name of the company and the website. We don't have, emails to be able to reach out to them, because what we are trying to do is generate leads that we can call, email, or reach out to, right? So what we are going to, that's why we are setting these roles again, to be able to bring, all those email, all those, names, so that we can look for their, corresponding emails. So you just set this up as it is here. Just your ID will always come from here, which is the same thing here. So it really does not matter. And your sheet will always come from here, which is the same thing here, right? It's the same sheet here. So that is already done, and then you just leave the rest as it is, because what you're trying to do is search for all the, all the names basically, so that you can, get their corresponding Gmail, or get their Gmail. So the next thing that you want to do is do a request, another HTTP request. In this one, for this one, you want to go in for to every website that is there and get, their details. You want to get details of them. So what you want to do is every time, so what we already have in our spreadsheet, which is this B. So what we have is name and website, right? So we want to go into the website and, scrape the website and look for an email that we can reach out to. So that's why the URL here is tagged to what is in B, and what is in B is, we did A is email, and then B is what's it called, website. So the URL here is going to go into the website and then scrape, sorry, and find emails and then return, but for this particular one, it's just going to return everything it finds on the website, right? So what it will do here is get all the information on the website. That's what this particular HTTP is going to do. So you just save that, and then the next thing that you want to do, very important, is going to be this text parser that turns HTML to text. Because once the HTTP goes into your website, what it does is that it scrapes it as, sorry, it scrapes it as an HTML, right? It's going to be scraping this one as an HTML because it's an HTTP, and of course, it will scrape it as, HTML, right? So what you want to do is turn that HTML to text. That's what this text parser is going to do. So what it simply does is that you present it the data, the HTML data, and then to turn it to text. So that's all you need for that one. And the next module that we will need is going to be the text parser that will match pattern. So you want to have a particular, you want it to go into this text now, because once it comes out of here and it turns HTML to text, it's going to pull up everything in the website. So I'm talking about the about page, home, like it's just going to pull up everything about that particular website in a text. So what we want to do is ask it to go into all of this data that is asked to look for only the email. So that's why you need this pattern here. So the way you can get this is to ask, you can ask ChatGPT to give you what this is called a regular expression. Like you can see, is a regular expression. So what you would do is ask ChatGPT to give you a regular expression pattern that you can use to get emails from a text of like from a bunch of text, right? So ChatGPT will understand and give you this, right? We give you that. So you just go ahead and put that here and you leave everything other thing as it is, but make sure you put your text here because that's the text that is going to go into to find that particular expression. So you save this and then the next thing you go to update your row. So for every time it runs and gets an email, you want it to update that row, and which is going to be our C. So what it gets here is going to be your C, which is going to be your email. So if you have this set up as it is, so every time you run this, you're going to have a bunch of emails of prospective leads that you can reach out to, and then depending on your offer, if your offer is juicy enough, you can be making thousands and thousands of dollars or whatever currency you use, right? Just from this system alone. Let me run this so that you can see. See, it's currently searching from my Google Maps. It has gotten the HTTP request. It has added rows for me. See, it's currently adding all of the rows that I need here. See, it's currently adding them, still adding, right? Still adding. So it has gone ahead to set up everything. So this particular website that it keeps picking has a protocol issue. That's why it throws up an error every time. That's why it's throwing up an error. It's telling me this. So what you can do if you get that kind of error is to come to this your ignore filter here, right? So you come in. I already have one error here that I used to get before, which was the bundle validation error. But this particular error, which is an invalid configuration error, I have not had that before because I've not pulled this kind of website before. So I think the website itself has HTTP security errors, so that's why it's throwing up that error. So what you would do to avoid that in subsequent times is to add another filter here, that if the data type here, which is the error here, is equal to that error that we keep getting, just put it in there like it is, and then you save this, and then you save this. So now every time it runs and then it has that kind of error, it's going to ignore it and continue running for the other ones, right? So let's go and see what we have in our let me check for which I'm using this, and yeah, so let me go in and check for the spreadsheet that it was created, and let us see what we're going to have. Yeah, so this is the one it has created right now. So this is the one it created and this is the one it just modified. So let's check this. So it has created this and it was not able to get in and create the email because it did throw up this email. So because it threw up that error, sorry, because it did throw up that error and the error was from this second one. So because it did throw up that error, it couldn't proceed any longer. It couldn't proceed any further to work on the other ones. So I'm looking for the best way to get this to continue running without, because let me just try to run this again, because there is no best way for me to get it to continue running without having to start from the beginning. So let me move this to trial. So if we come back here now and then we run this again, yeah, so it's currently getting our places for us. It only got one place this time. Okay, sorry. Just create it. It's adding a row for us. Yeah, the 25, 28, 29. So it has gotten 29, and then see, it has gone around right now. It's now getting all of the websites for us here now because I've handled that, that error issue that I kept getting. So now it will proceed and continue. Now it's at 8, 9. So you also have to match up with what is going on here. Still running. So you see, it's having that error quite a lot because it keeps ignoring all of this. Yeah, so it is done right now. You guys only 29 and 29, so it is done. So if we go back into our database now, we load this, we should see, yeah, this is it. What did I do? So the reason why it gave these errors here, it gave this one, two, whatever, it just means that I was mapping it to the wrong thing. So if you see this I means that it has returned one email, right, or maybe two emails, and then here is where you see the actual email, right, the raw email itself. So that's what I should have been mapping it to, and not, here. So I will save this, and then I save this again. So now I think I want to delete this and do it all over so to get it right this time. Going to leave this, and then I'll move this to trash. Yeah, so I will come back in here, and then I'll run this again. Yeah, it's currently adding all of my rows. So let me find that the sheet it created. Sure. Okay, so now it's going to be pulling the email. So you see, it's bringing in all the emails now for me. So the ones that it can find, because it might not find every email. Yeah, so it's still running here and it's still adding my emails here. Yeah, so these were the emails you could find that didn't have errors in the 30 or 31 names that you had brought. So for you, of course, you can keep on running this to get, every time it runs, you can get 50 names, you get the emails, and then the ones that don't have emails, you can try to find the emails yourself. Or if you don't want that, you can just delete the ones without the emails and work with the one with emails, right? So with this kind of system that you are built for free, you can use this to, get leads that you're going to reach out to, and with a juicy offer, you can make thousands and thousands of dollars from those leads. So this is the system that is going to give you your money back. You're going to get so much money from having a system like this. So if you want these templates, you can let me know. I can, maybe make it available to you so that you can just, take this and, impute the fields yourself, what you're looking for, and make any updates, and then just start using it to make thousands and thousands of dollars in your business, right? I really hope you found this walkthrough very useful, and maybe if you want me to build this on live, maybe we can build it together. But yeah, that's the walkthrough of this system that I currently use to, get leads that I reach out to for my services. If you found this useful, please make sure to subscribe and share this with any other business owner that might want a system like this. And if you want a custom system, make sure to reach out to me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn will be linked in the comments. And I'm going to be seeing you in my next one. Have a nice day.